start in summer. One of the greatest things is some ingredients come along, like ramps. They're very short-lived, but they come along in the spring. Morel mushrooms come along in the spring and then they're gone. You know, spring English peas. And guess what else? Scapes. What is Escape? We're doing the Great Escape. I forgot to show you my board. The Great Escape. And we're talking about garlic scapes. Another one of those things that comes along in this once, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're doing a bunch of things. We're going to pickle them, pesto them, make a butter, and skewers. What is that all about? You're going to see in a minute. Put my cow and my board away. There we go. So what is a garlic scape? So we're all used to know and love garlic, right? We love it. It's pungent. I must say that the garlic has been pretty decent this year. Nice big cloves within the head of garlic. I love it. So the garlic scape is the part of the plant that grows above ground. So it's pretty cool. And I have, you know you got good friends who love you when they say, here, take this. The giant bag of garlic scapes. Look at this. Woo! I love these things. It's got a more refined garlic flavor, very subtle. We've used it in eggs all week. And let me pull out a nice sample. So what you got with a garlic scape, they're curly like this. You've got a thicker end. And it's kind of like asparagus where it's a little bit woody on the end. And then on the end you've got the flower. This is the garlic flower. This will bloom into a flower, and you can eat them raw because they're not so spicy. You know, they're better cooked, obviously, or made into a pesto or something like that. But it's a sweet garlic flavor that I love. Awesome. So yeah, look at all these garlic scapes. Beautiful. I'm going to pick them as I need them, so I'm going to get them out of the way. Put them over here. Now, the first thing we're going to do is something really cool that I did one for dinner this week, and it worked out really well. And we are actually going to use those thicker bottoms. So I cut them off. I cut them with a little bit of a point, like that. And we are going to actually use these as our skewer to skewer some cubes of a 35-day dry-aged ribeye, which I have here, already cubed up. Look at this beautiful marbling on this stuff. Amazing. So let's get doing that. I want to make these first. And we're going to talk about all the other ways that we're going to use them. So what I do is I use a wooden chopstick just to get that hole through there. I'll pull it through, and then I thread it on to my garlic scape like so. And we're making kebabs. And I'm telling you, we had these this week, and man, were they good. So, just getting that hole started, putting them through. What's really cool is you cut in between the cubes of meat, and every cube has garlic scape going through it. Really, really delicious. So I'm going to try and get through this pretty quickly. Do you have any shout outs today, Lynn, so far? Anybody watching?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
We've got 6 pages, so.
Oh yeah, Lynn's going through the 6 pages, so if she doesn't respond or read your comment right away, you know why.
And I realized why it was dark in here today.
Oh, why was it?
We don't have a light.
Oh, want me to get the light?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to do this.
So,
I'm going to run and get our light because it's going to make a big difference.
So you guys will be able to see things. So the question is, if you cook them with goat meat, would it be scapegoat?
What's that?
I said if you cook these, if you use goat meat, I got it.
Yes.
I got that.
It could be sticky. You can call it whatever you want, but when you use these scapes, I mean, look at this. How could this be bad? So this is beef scapes, but with the dry-aged beef. Killer. Can you see me now?
I can.
All right.
I was playing with all the settings. I'm like, I can't figure it out. I'm like, oh, we're missing a light.
Shame on us.
Yep. So, guess who that came from? Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Thanks for your input. Nice.
Let's see.
All right, so you can see that this is pretty easy work. All I did was take a ribeye, I cut all the fat off, and I kind of harvested decent cubes off of that. And not even, you know, it's dry aged beef, so I'm not going to marinate them or anything. I am going to season them with salt. And yeah, this is a phenomenal use of scapes.
I'm going to come in close for this.
Yeah.
Since I'm no longer distracted.
Excellent. Poking a
Wow.
hole.
That went through quickly.
Yep. This end is a little bit dry, so I want to cut it off.
We've got James Carr out there, and we've
Hello,
got
James.
Alan Jeffcoat.
Who?
Alan Jeffcoat?
Hey, Alan. Thanks for joining in the fun here in the Grateful Chef kitchen. Beautiful. Yeah, so you can see this is great. I cooked it out over charcoal at the grill. It's dry aged beef, so it cooks about 25% faster. And for those who don't know, I do use the Steak Ager Pro 40 dual mode. Actually, I have a single mode for just dry aging. It works incredibly well. Rumor has it there's going to be a 4th of July sale coming up. They have one for Father's Day, but insider information, you heard it here first, folks. All right, there we got beautiful 3 awesome skewers. This extra piece of meat I'll just throw on the grill anyway. We are going to season liberally as we do our steaks with salt. And we're going to just flip them around using kosher salt so I can see where it's going. Beautiful. That is awesome. This has enough marbling in it that I do not have to use any extra added fat. All right, so before I put these on, I want to go to the next item here up for bid, and that is we're going to make some ramp butter. So let me, ramps. We're going to make some Scape butter.
It's the
And
same.
what I like to do, because these are very unruly to work with, so what I like to do is, and you want to get close on this, Lenny.
Okay.
So right where it starts to curve, I'll cut it. Maybe I'll cut the curve, and I'll cut the blossom off, and we'll use that. And I keep them separated. So here's another one.
So, sorry, which part of it did you use for the skewer?
So the skewer, I use this part.
Okay.
It's a little bit woody, you know, so this one's going to be a little bit longer, but I want to keep the sections together because it'll make it for easier chopping.
So you're gonna the woodier part you still will cook up with the others.
Sure.
Okay.
And I'll show you how that one can go over there.
So we also have Pete Romano.
Hello, Pete.
And Carol Berman said, hey, love these, and they make a fab pesto.
You can even cook scapes without thumbs. Imagine that. Inside joke.
I'm like, I don't understand that.
Uh-huh. Blossoms off. Put that over here. And we'll do a little more because I got a lot of butter. Maybe I won't use the whole butter. Well, I mean, all the butter. So I'm using unsalted butter. That'll go over there too. Blossom. Boom. Okay, pretty easy work.
And Rich Desmas, sorry, Rich. Rich asks,
Yes.
where can I get garlic scapes?
So garlic scapes are a little bit hard to find. If you have a farmer's market near you, the time to ask is in early spring. See who's going to have them. Now it's late spring, so I actually just got these last week. So you can ask anyone that's selling garlic at the farmer's market if they can bring in the scapes for you, and they absolutely will. Because why throw them away when they can, make an extra buck or two?
And Rich also said, never too much garlic.
Right, and this is such a nice subtle garlic flavor. It's really incredible. All right, we got one more.
Would you also say it has an oniony flavor?
Yeah, I guess it's
garlic onionish.
Yeah, it has more garlic flavor, obviously, than like a shallot. They say shallot's like a split between garlic and onion. So it has, I would say, more pronounced garlic flavor than a shallot, and a little bit of onion flavor too. All right, so here we've got our scapes, the tougher bottoms. I am going to cut off a little bit, kind of like when you do asparagus. You see where it naturally snaps, but this won't snap. It'll bend, you know. Okay, that one snapped. Look at that.
And Alex Estrada said, sorry I missed it. I recently got into garlic scapes, sauteing them in butter per your recommendations. Also cut them up and put them into amazing risotto.
Oh yeah. I mean, we made eggs with them, and it's just
so
absolutely delicious. So just go where it naturally snaps.
So I was surprised with the garlic scape omelet the other day.
Oh yeah. And I didn't use that many. I just used a little bit. Snap it off. All right, so from here, what I want to do is, and this makes it really easy, I just want to press it down.
Just like you do with the garlic.
Yep, just like, and at this point, then you can just cut it. I'll try and move a little bit quick because we got a couple of things I want to do.
So can you do more than one at a time? Or
Yeah, so you can smash them down. And you don't need to exert a lot of effort. Like celery, I do the same thing. You know, so let's smash a couple down.
And Bill Dale said it's been good.
Awesome, thank you, Bill. And thank you for all your help on the Steak Ager group. I love it.
And also with the Steak Ager, just for the folks that are just joining, we'll be cooking up the dry aged ribeye, skewered in scapes in a moment.
Yes, these are nice and fresh and juicy. All right, so one more. And then whack at it. This is good practice for me. People say I should try out for Chopped, and I'm always afraid to be that guy that cuts his finger because I'm moving too fast. It's good practice. Last thing I would want to do is get voted off first. So this you could do in a food processor if you want. Obviously you can take your sweet time. The tender ones I'm just going to cut because they don't need to really be smashed. So once I cut them down into rounds like this, I'll run my knife through them one more time, make them a little bit more of a mince. Again, food processor, no problem. You do the, buzz these in a food processor. Put in your softened butter.
So we have Kate said he'd never heard of these before, but they look great already.
Oh, they're just phenomenal.
And if you could taste them.
I mean, I could smell now that from smashing them down. It's unbelievable. Great garlic smell.
So can you? So a garlic scape. You had mentioned that farmers market would bring them in because they don't want to lose money. So, or they can make some extra money. So are they just available everywhere, or? Yeah,
anyone that's selling garlic, that if it's a true farmers market where they're growing what they sell. I mean, they're flip that. Selling what they grow. If they're growing garlic, they've got garlic scapes. All right, so I'm just going to run my knife through just to break it down just a little bit more.
Where did you first use garlic scapes? Remember?
Oh, it's been. I mean, I remember in the '90s, first using garlic scapes.
So culinary schoolish?
No, culinary school was '85.
Okay.
Nice. It's going to be a nice chunky butter. I'm not going to waste too much more time, but you get the idea. I'm going to break it down.
And Michelle said she's definitely going to be.
That should be enough.
Michelle said she's definitely going to grow these, and she loves the kebab idea.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, guys. So here we've got our scapes, nicely chopped. Move these over to the side. Maybe we'll use those pieces. Maybe we'll use more scapes. All right, and here I've got 3 sticks of butter. I'm going to start with 2. I want a nice butter to scape ratio. These are room temperature, as you can see. All right. Don't waste the butter.
And people are often looking for something like a butter to put on the top of their steak.
Exactly. Exactly why I'm making it now.
Are we going to put that on top of our steak?
Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right, so in go our scapes.
Because we didn't have that the other day.
No, that's an added bonus for coming to the live. All right, simple spoon. We'll check our ratio. If I think I can put more butter in, which it looks like I will be able to. Because that is a nice amount of scapes. We're going with another butter. And what I'll do is when I'm done tonight, I will wrap it in plastic wrap and put it in the freezer. And now I've got a nice compound butter to use. And this will last us a little while. All right, so I'm using unsalted butter. I like the unsalted butter. They use the best cream for the unsalted butter. And the not so best they use for salted butter. And this also allows me to control the amount of salt.
And we've got Jay Judge with us. He said,
Hello,
"Hey,
Jay."
guys."
In goes a little salt. I'm even going to put in a little pepper using my trusty Tina mill. Battery's getting low.
Now, and Bill's chimed in. He said essentially the top of the garlic clove, which is the ground, correct?
Yep.
I had a garlic patch when I was a kid, and I remember eating the pods off the top of the stalk in the summer.
Nice. And there we've got beautiful
Thanks, Bill.
scape butter. It's that simple, lovely. We'll put that aside. And again, when I'm done, I'm going to put it in a piece of plastic wrap, roll it up into a nice tight log, and then freeze it. And this way I can cut off it whenever I would like to have scape butter. All right. Now, that being said, I'm going to put on. So I want to say right now, a little disclaimer. I am grilling over charcoal inside. Don't try this at home, kids, unless you have a really serious ventilation system. All right, so it's not only the smoke that you're worried about, it's evacuating the heat as well. So I am comfortable doing it. This is what I did before I had my Weber charcoal. I think I'm going to try a little spray on the grill, just so we don't get a sticking situation. I'm going to pull it out just a little bit, get it more underneath my hood.
Bill noticed the shine coming in from the window, and we don't have a curtain on our kitchen window.
No, we don't. All right.
I think next week we're going to have to put the umbrella up outside. I could take a close look at those.
Here's that great B&B charcoal right there. Burns hot and burns long. Dry aged beef, gonna cook real quick. A nice sear on them. Turn them a lot. There we go. There's that little chef's nugget right there. Beautiful.
And what dry aged beef is this?
This is a 35-day dry aged ribeye prime.
So Bill said, since we don't have a curtain, because you go hillbilly like he does, and use a blanket.
Nice. Actually, we have a big outdoor umbrella, and I can lift it and tilt it so it actually blocks the window. I'll have to do that next time. Alright, this is awesome. It's cooking quite well. And going to more scapes because
What are we making next?
we're going to make a shrimp dish too. We're going to make, you've heard of shrimp scampi? This is shrimp scapey. You know, I guess that's my name for it. Shrimp scapey. Alright, this is cooking nice and evenly.
Alan Jeffcoat said, I'm thinking those would taste excellent using my pellet smoker and a 500-degree sear blades.
Absolutely. I did it, like I said, over a regular Weber barbecue with charcoal, a good B&B. Throw a chunk of wood on there. Nice. Really good. Very tender. Let me get a couple more scapes. What? You thought it was a bug?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was tickling my back.
Alright, get a couple more scapes.
Come in and take a look at your fryer and off camera. So, where are we going to next?
Come back here and I'll keep going back and forth to here. You guys don't have to follow me as I do this. Definitely don't want to overcook those.
Oh.
Right?
There.
Right.
Hold on, we're looking at our kitchen cabinet. Sorry about that, guys.
Alright. No, I don't want to use those. I want to use the more tender parts. So I'm going to cut off the long pieces, maybe use them for skewers on another night. The hard bottoms. Like so. And then I'm going to see what happens if I just crush it along the way and then chop it. And I'm going also to include the bulb on this one.
Is the bulb more garlicky?
I don't know. I'm thinking that the bottom is more garlicky because it's closer to the actual garlic itself. So I'm going to say no.
Alan Nichols said, Alan is learning, didn't know what to do with the scapes from my garden.
Yeah, these are amazing. You'll
cool.
be totally happy and satisfied. All right, so I've got them squished. Oh yeah, getting a nice beauty char on there.
Should we come over and look at them or no?
Nope, we'll see them in a minute. So again, I'm just going to chop these. We're actually going to saute these and get some heat on my pan.
I think Kevin's out there with the dad jokes tonight. So if you bought scapes using e-commerce, would they be e-scapes?
They sure would be. You see this, Kevin? That's me biting my tongue right now. Alright, so we're going to get a nice little amount of scapes. And I'm going to get really crazy, and I'm going to use some of the scape butter to saute our shrimp. Alright, I got about 8 shrimp, so I think that's enough. I do want to get some of these blossoms in there. Alright, that's good. Let's go to our shrimp. Beautiful. Nice, big, peeled and deveined shrimp. Left the tail on. We're going to do a quick little saute. So you can come back to the stove if you'd like. Winnie.
I'm coming.
Alright, we use a little bit of avocado oil and a little bit of butter.
And for those of you, for the folks that don't know about avocado oil.
Avocado oil is a high temperature oil. It does not have a lot of flavor. So you can enhance it with butter, just like I did. Alright, get this cranking.
It's smelling really good in here.
And what's happening is you can see the color of the scape, it brightened up a little bit. That's because it is cooking. Oh yeah, this is, I'm going to take the chef's nugget right now. Oh. unbelievable. All right, well, they're done. I'm going to take them off, and I just might put them back on to warm them up when we're done. So, all right, let's get this baby going. You can see the scapes coming out. Shrimp cooks really quick. Gorgeous. Kind of like a little scape smorgasbord. In go our shrimp. And if you know the little secret about shrimp, you can tell how cooked they are by their shape, of course, and their color. If it gets to a C, it's cooked. If it turns into an O, overcooked. Yeah, it is gorgeous. I'm going to turn it down. I see the butter browning just a little bit. We're going to get a little salt on there.
We're having a little surf and turf with shrimp and 35 days, right?
Now you could do the shrimp over pasta or rice. I'm going to put in the scapes. I'm going to start to toss. The scapes do not take a long time to cook, so you know you don't have to cook them to death. You got a nice pink color on that side. Flipping them over. They're getting there already. Love it. So again, you can serve this over pasta. You can serve it over rice, which is what we're going to do tonight. Oh, smell that, Lynn.
Yummy.
All right. At this point, I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little white wine. Stand back. There's our sauce.
No fire.
No fire, not enough alcohol content. And
More butter?
I'm going to swirl in a little butter, and that's going to make our sauce nice and creamy and emulsified. Look at that. How good does that look, huh? Yes. I am cheating on the rice tonight. I am a fan of these pre-cooked rices you get in the Asian market. They come in brown rice, white rice, the black forbidden rice that I love so much. It's just convenient. 90 seconds in a microwave. If you don't have the time to make real rice, I shouldn't even say real rice. Break it up just a little bit. These are done. This is a sticky rice, which I love.
I'm going to come over and take a look at that with you.
I'm going to come over now to you because I'm going to plate the shrimp. Look at that. This is good eating right here, folks. Let's see. I'm dyslexic when it comes to my plating here. Again, you can do this on pasta just as well. Finish that pasta in the pan. And here we go, the money shot.
Oops. You need a spatula for that?
No,
Alright. Beauty.
how can that be bad? Good, so that's our first one done. Last one I want to do, I am going to put the meat back on just to warm up once we're done. So the last thing I'm going to do is we're going to make a little pesto in my mortar and pestle. got a little cheese, Reggiano. Excuse me, Parmigiano Reggiano. Grab a couple more scapes. Like so. Again, I'm going to keep the bottoms for something else.
Those stocky parts?
Yep. One more. All right, it's going to be a multifaceted pesto. It's going to have not just only scapes in it, it's going to have the traditional basil, it's going to have some arugula, it's going to have some parsley, and I'm just cutting these into, you know, rough chop, because I'm going to whack them around with the mortar and pestle.
So basically you just went into our garden and started picking green stuff?
I picked arugula, I picked garlic, the basil, I picked the parsley. Unfortunately, I did not pick these scapes, but these are fresh scapes.
We don't need any more scapes.
No.
Because I still, just give you guys perspective, you saw the bag when he started. We had some the other day, and we still have that many left over.
Mm-hmm. All right, this is going into my mortar and pestle.
Right there.
Right there. I'm going to move it a little bit towards me. And here is our herb. So I've got a little bit of parsley. Run my knife through it. Again, if it's a chunky pesto, that's perfectly fine. You can take as much or as little time as you'd like here on this. Here's the basil.
Kids, he's not sure what I like more, the stove, the cutting board island, the pans, or the food. And let me tell you, you put it all together.
It works.
It's pretty awesome. Oh wait, how about the outdoor view?
All right, so here we've got, look at this beautiful arugula from our garden. Peppery, really, really great. I'm going to take some of it, maybe not use it all.
And I was surprised that when when it first started growing, it was nice and soft and gentle and not too peppery.
Yeah, and as it grows.
Whew.
All right, now comes the fun part. There's a little spinach in there too. Delicious. Okay. I'm just going to smack it down. Again, food processor, no problem. So we're bruising all the herbs. I'm going to try not to make too much noise, but it's impossible. We're breaking up the scapes, which are releasing their juices.
And Brian Gontarski said, got scapes in his CSA bag, was great. Also still eating them, and called this garlic scapes and the bald man.
Nice.
So Brian, do you still need more things to do with your scapes? Tonight's episode is good.
There's a little stem, take it out. Break it down. Again, you can spend an hour at this, right? Or do it in your food processor, whichever one you'd like to do. All right, at this point I'm going to add a little abrasion in the form of pine nuts. We're going to add the pine nuts into there. We're going to add some salt. There it is, right next to me. That'll add a little bit of abrasive.
Kevin asked, how much were the scapes per pound?
How much?
Free.
They were free for me, but so I don't know what they sell for in the markets. Not a clue.
So, really, we went to a friend's farm, and she had the bag of scapes for us. Same place where you saw the goats.
Yes, the goats. All right, so we've got that. Look at it, how bright and green it got since I added the salt. Beautiful. I'm going to add a little bit of my
Wow.
Reggiano. I always get busted for saying Reggiano Parmigiano instead of Parmigiano Reggiano. So, you know,
Practice.
practice.
And what are we doing with pesto?
Oh, wait till you see. We're going to put it over some tomatoes and fresh mozzarella. Mozzarella. Excuse me.
Could you also use a pesto on a steak?
You could use the pesto on the shrimp and do it over pasta, or the rice.
How about a steak?
You could put it on steak. Listen, your kitchen, your rules. Do what you like.
I was just seeing how interchangeable these recipes are with everything else you cooked tonight. So.
All right, and the
and
final
match.
piece to this pesto is olive oil. Look at that. Gorgeous. Bring that all together. Now you can make it, you know, the more olive oil, obviously, the looser it'll be. So, depending on what you're doing with it, have at it.
Kate suggested putting pesto on some charbroiled oysters.
Oh, yeah.
That's
What could be bad about that?
I bet this would be awesome with garlic scapes on there.
All right.
And Tammy Mae asked about an acid.
You could put an acid on here. You could put some red wine vinegar if you want. You don't want it to be too much like a chimichurri. You know, pesto really is an oil-based kind of sauce. You know, if you go adding too much acid, you're into chimichurri territory. So, all right. So we've got our pesto. I'm going to taste, of course.
And as you're tasting, Tammy Mae said she has a ton of steaks. This is great use for them, and she can't wait to try them with eggs. So thank you.
Oh.
How's that?
Woo!
I'm gonna come in and get
That
this.
is awesome.
There you go. Nice close up of the pesto. That is really bright green. Lovely.
All right, I have these beautiful and large cherry, well, actually grape tomatoes. So I'm going to cut these slices. It's a little take, you know, instead of using big tomatoes, which our Jersey tomatoes are just coming in now. They're not really, I mean, I don't have them, but my farmer's got my local farm stand. They'll have them in another week or so, as they will corn. So I'm just doing a cherry tomato and a grape tomato kind of thing.
And we do have, we're growing those yellow tomatoes.
We are growing yellow tomatoes, but haven't had them come up yet. Gorgeous.
And this is part of our salad for this evening,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, it is. All right, we're almost there.
Today was a marathon.
Yeah.
Escape
It's been
marathon.
a while since I did a multi-course thing here.
And Kevin chimed in about he was thinking that the acid in a pesto would probably dull the green color as well.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our tomatoes. What's the first thing you do when you have tomatoes open? Salt. They scream for salt.
Why?
Just because they don't have a lot of salinity to them. So you put a little bit of that on. We've got our fresh mozzarella here. And we are in the home stretch, folks. When you're cutting fresh mozzarella with a knife, you kind of want to go at short little pokes at it without putting a lot of pressure on the knife. You just let the knife do the work.
And if I wasn't doing it with a knife, what would I
You could do it with a, you know, I have a cheese cutter, like a wire. You could do it with that. All right. I'm going to cut these in pieces to kind of match the tomato size. Like so.
Oh, that's pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been anticipating some kind of crazy salad.
Well, this is basically caprese, but you're doing it with pesto too.
No, but I was thinking of like the layer of tomato, the layer of mozzarella. But since you were using the grape tomatoes, I didn't know how it would work. I like this.
There we go. Gonna mix that up a little bit. Our pesto. Beautiful. I like a little pepper. And you can use balsamic vinegar, but I think I'm going to put a dash of red wine vinegar, if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. No, not that one. There it is. Got this really nice Italian red wine vinegar, just a tiny splash. So this is, here I'm adding that acid, but I'm just adding it to the tomatoes. I don't want to add it to the pesto. Just a couple of splashes.
And guys, it smells so good in here.
And here we got our pesto. Nice and creamy. Put a couple of dollops on there. Let it fall wherever it will.
Jay likes her plates.
Beautiful. And there we've got a great pesto tomato mozzarella salad with scape and arugula pesto.
All right, can you give the steak a taste?
Yep, so we're going to go to that.
And can you close the cabinet?
It is still warm. Can we have a plate, please? And we are going to plate the steak. Now, normally, or maybe not normally, but you would maybe slide it off. You're not doing it with this. Beautiful. So the way I eat this, like I said, just you want to cut in between.
And can you get a fork of it so I can see the end of it?
Yes.
I want to see what it looks like on the inside. So you've got that little scape right in the middle.
Yep.
For just a wee little texture.
And here's our steak. Here's a better shot for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning. Taste it up. Garlic steak. Beautiful. I'm going to put these two back on, just want to heat them up, and I'll show you the last. We will use some of this garlic, the scape butter. Put that over there. And while those are heating up, I'll tell you about the final piece I talked about, pickling. So here I have the scapes, and what I did was I followed their natural curl, and I put them in the jar and stacked them up with a couple of dried red chilies, and did a real simple vinegar, some sugar, some salt, dissolve it, heat it in a pot, dissolve it, fill your jar up, let it come to room temperature, and then chill it. This will be 3 or 4 weeks in here before I eat them, and there you've got beautiful pickled scapes. Lovely.
How long will they keep?
They'll keep for, as long as it's submerged, they will keep for weeks. All right, so we've got a little bit of warmth on these now. We'll go back to our scape butter and put it on there and let that melt on. With my fork. And let that melt. Beautiful. And it's cool. It's like, you know, sometimes I know people say, oh, never enough garlic or never too much garlic. That really applies to scapes because it's such a beautiful, subtle flavor. You really don't overdo it. There we got our scape butter on there. And that's it. That is the Great Escape. I'm so happy that so many people chimed in that they've they've had them and they haven't known a lot of uses for them. So hopefully you've learned how to do that. For those who didn't know scapes existed, I hope you will go out and search for them. Ask the right farmers, ask the people that are selling garlic, and I'm sure that you will find them. And you can do all these great things, and sky's the limit. Apply garlic scapes to wherever you apply garlic, and you won't be disappointed. So with that, thanks again for joining us. We hope to see you next week. Not sure what we're going to do yet. And I say to you to be well, eat well, be kind, and we will see you